All right, Nick, Tennessee Titans were a team that was coming on very strong last regular season. They looked primed to be a deep playoff run candidate. Didn't quite pan out that way, but, all injuries aside, everything moved around. The Titans look again primed this year to go into the last 2 years of Tannehill and Henry's contracts. Moving strong, they have Super Bowl aspirations, and this is a key because the Titans also drafted a rookie quarterback this season, and we're going to see how he kind of fits into this equation. You're going to get into that story here in a second. But with the start of the NFL season, that means college football season is right around the corner, and we want to know in the comments below, Tennessee fans, tell us, what is your favorite college team? Is it Tennessee Volunteers? Do you sing Rocky Top at the top of your lungs every Saturday? Is it Vanderbilt? Is it one of the other many teams in Tennessee? I'm sure it's all Volunteer fans, but let us know in the comments below, who is your favorite college team? But Nick, nonetheless, let's get into this story.
Yeah, so you got to go Vandy though, right? I think Vandy's actually probably better than Tennessee, probably the last few years. I would say, like, better program. I would say.
I'm not trying to get canceled, so we won't say that. So
All right, so this is according to, you brought up Malik Willis, so this is according to Bleacher Report. The Tennessee Titans used a third-round draft pick to select Liberty's Malik Willis at this year's NFL draft, but barring an injury to starter Ryan Tannehill, it's unlikely he'll see the field this year. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, Willis is very clearly the developmental quarterback, and even when he gets second-team reps, the goal appears to be letting him redshirt behind the scenes. Fowler said the Titans are happy with his progression overall, adding, "I don't get the sense our Titans are going to roll Willis out for a wildcat-type package. He will be stashed." All right, so this is kind of an interesting dynamic. So when they drafted Malik Willis, there was some questions like, okay, is this the end for Ryan Tannehill? Obviously, he struggled against the Bengals last season, was one of the reasons they lost in the playoff game with the turnovers he made. But obviously, Malik Willis is a developmental guy. He has all the physical tools. He's big, strong, and fast. But the Titans appear to be slow playing Willis. Kind of, we're not going to, run plays just for him or get him involved with the offense. We're going to actually slowly develop him as an NFL quarterback. Miles, what do you think of what the Titans are doing with Willis here?
Well, from very early on, Nick, we were pretty high on Willis on the show coming out of college. He really had a lot of really nice physical tools. He seemed to be able to make all the throws. He was big, he was strong, and we were pretty high on him for a minute here. But going to a place like the Titans, it makes me a little bit higher on him because he doesn't have to start so early. He can sit, he can develop, and he can really learn what the Titans are all about. And one thing I'd like to say is the Titans are built in a certain style right now. Whether that's going to be conducive to a guy like Malik Willis or not remains to be seen. And he can kind of learn, they can learn if he is a fit for the system they have now. But like we said, Tannehill and Henry in the last 2 years of their deal, you could move on from that chunk of your offense. I don't think they're going to be moving on from Henry. It's a big feature. He's kind of the face of the franchise, so to speak, for right now. But when you get around to Malik Willis's time to try to give him the reins of the offense, you can kind of shift things around. But you're in no rush to do that right now because you still have this year and next year with Tannehill and Henry under contract. So you can really stash Malik Willis, like they say, and see how things develop. And I think that's a good play for the Titans. Don't be in a rush to throw this guy out there. Don't be in a rush to change things around. Learn what he can do. Learn what he can't do. Try to develop him into what you want him to be, and then adapt as you go along. There's no need to rush into it. No need to jump. I don't think that is good for anybody.
Well, especially, the Titans being in win now mode. And you look at the division, right? The quarterbacks in the AFC South obviously got a lot better, right? You got Trevor Lawrence is going to his second year. Davis Mills going into his second year. Obviously, the Colts, big upgrade getting Matt Ryan. So if you go from Ryan Tannehill to Malik Willis, you have the Titans, who I think are the best roster and probably best coach in that division. They probably are then the fourth best quarterback if they go with Malik Willis. And that's not going to win you the division. It's not going to be competitive. So from a winning now perspective, it makes a lot of sense. In terms of making a deep playoff run, it makes even more sense because the AFC is absolutely loaded with veteran quarterbacks. You have guys like, we already brought up Matt Ryan, but you have Russell Wilson coming over as well. So this is a very stacked, very veteran, very mature AFC in terms of the quarterback position. So stashing Malik Willis for a season makes a lot of sense from that perspective. You brought up the contracts of Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. I think that's an outstanding point because going into next season, after the 2023 year, they're going to have to make a lot of big decisions, right? Derrick Henry's going to be obviously a couple years older. You know, what's the wear and tear? What's his injury situation like? Does he deserve big time money or not? How is that going to shake out? What's Ryan Tannehill like? So stashing him for a year, stashing Malik Willis for a year and kind of, let him grow and develop and lead into 2023 and say, okay, is Tannehill still good enough to be our, best quarterback? Has Willis developed? And do we need to potentially invest in a veteran? Do we need to let Henry walk? All those big kind of decisions need to be made next year anyway. So don't force the issue now and box yourself into a corner. Let things play out with your current roster. See how it goes this season. It's the best opportunity for you to win now. And next season, when you need to make big decisions with Henry and Tannehill anyway, you have Malik Willis, who's a year older, a year smarter, a year wiser, and a year closer to seeing what he's going to be like as an NFL quarterback. Give the Titans a lot of credit here because that's the exact right way to manage a franchise. You've seen a lot of smart teams do this. Obviously, the 49ers did this with Jimmy G and Trey Lance. The Chiefs did it with Pat Mahomes, Alex Smith. It makes a lot of sense for the Titans, and I think it's a really good move.
All right, Nick, it's time to get your internet privacy back today on every device you own in any country you want. Don't let anyone but you control your internet. NordVPN keeps you safe from prying eyes wherever you go online with their military-grade encryption. Is your favorite Netflix or streaming content blocked in the US? You can simply connect to one of the many countries available with NordVPN and get the access you need.
That's right, Maya. So right now, get our exclusive NordVPN deal here at nordvpn.com/SMI. It's risk-free now with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, get that exclusive deal, nordvpn.com/SMI.